Hello, I am indeed back today with another sketchbook video, but if you watch the first episode of this sketchbook series, which will be linked down below, I'm actually going to be making an art book. Again, a sketchbook is a place for you to be making scribbles, mistakes. It's supposed to look ugly, quite honestly, but in this sketchbook, my intention is to just make things look pretty. As a sequential artist that works in storyboards, comics, I'm so used to making my stuff look like quick drawings and doodles all the time that this sketchbook is a place for me to kind of slow down again, enjoy the rendering process, enjoy coloring and play with mediums, and actually put in effort to make things look pretty. So yeah, while this is a sketchbook, this is going to be an art book, and in honor of creating artwork again, to not just have fun, but to heal your inner child and to heal your inner soul, I am wearing my merch, the You Will Heal long sleeve t-shirt, which is basically my merch line on adartem/kirumade, which you can find down in the links below, where we're offering a little special deal for the holidays. So check it out if you are interested. This is based off of my comic character Mew that I share on my Instagram account for any of you who read my comics. So yeah, anyway, today I'm going to be working on a spread that is going to be more about how I just honestly fantasize and daydream about travel, because as a Pisces INFJ, I daydream a lot. And when I daydream a lot, I always daydream about being somewhere else, in another country, another city. And I feel like for me, that is a part of my travel process. So last week I did a spread on, just travel in general, like welcome to this art book. This is me. I am Michelle. I like traveling. Today we're going to be focusing more on who I am before I go on a trip, who I am before I decide to go somewhere else. Basically the wanderlusty version of myself. So let's get started in the sketchbook, and as per usual, here are the tools I use. So today I'll be moving on to the next page of this sketchbook, and here we have some leftover residue from last week's spread that bled onto this page, but that's okay. We're just gonna patch some of it up with some paper, just like how you may eventually have to with your art career. Now, I know that kind of sounds rough, but at some point of any creative career you take, you might find this true. And since I just got off a therapy session with my therapist, it really inspired me to make this the topic of today's video. I'm an artist who thought my career trajectory would remain purely in the world of animation, but in this day and age, with the rise of the creator economy, things look different now. There are more options than before, and while they're not always more stable, they do offer an additional layer of freedom and flexibility that didn't exist in the traditional job world. I've been coming to more realization and acceptance of that for the past year or two, and I feel like finally I'm embracing this career transition with less hesitation. The spread for today will be based on the daydreaming, researching, and brainstorming part of traveling. Before going on any big trip, there's always a time period where you fantasize about a place you'd like to eventually go to. While this is not usually a part of the physical act of traveling itself, the inspiration behind it is still a part of the whole motion of travel. There's a whole motion behind those brain cells firing those thoughts to your hands, researching on the computer, to eventually bringing your physical self to the airport and finally arriving at your destination. I'll be using a mixture of colored pencils, watercolor, alcohol-based markers, ink, and gouache for this spread. Again, I really don't use anything fancy, and I'm kind of just using remainders of supplies I've had sitting around, but if you're curious to know what brands I use, check out the information in the description box below. As an artist from the traditional entertainment space, that is the LA animation industry, that is trying to lean more into the independent artist space, the flexibility of freelancing or quote-unquote running my own business allows me the time and spontaneity to travel, which is something I want to maintain in my life. to be quite honest, I would not be here making art without the ability to travel and see the world. And if I'm going to be moving into an even more nomadic career, I'm going to need the right tools for me to continue creating art even when I'm away from home. With that, I also had to come to the acceptance that I had to let a dream die. Ironically, a good film that embodies this is an animated one, which I'm sure you all know, and that's Tangled. Spoiler alert for any of you who haven't seen Tangled, maybe skip to this timestamp where I stop talking about it, but basically, Rapunzel goes throughout the story having a very set specific dream in life to see the light lanterns. After she gets to see the lights, she realizes she has a new dream in life, which is eventually living her happy ever after with Flynn. To take this back into the art career space, you're going to eventually have this one dream, maybe becoming a storyboard artist, comic artist, character designer, concept artist, whatever. But once you either spend time working to that dream, getting a taste of it, or even working in it for a few years, your dreams will change again. And that's normal because as people, we are always changing, and sometimes I think it's best to honor that change. One of the biggest mistakes, which I mentioned in an older video called The Biggest Art Career Mistake You Can Make, the topic of that video really is going throughout your whole art career following outdated advice. I definitely think that what some art veterans have to say still holds some merit and still hold true. Overall, the industry and space in which we work in now is totally different. There are social media, the creator economy, the rise in AI, strikes that recently ended, but brought to light the imperfections of the traditional entertainment space, and remote work becoming more of a thing. Overall, the advancements in technology have been changing everything, and they only will continue to change. So there's nothing wrong with going into a career thinking this is what you want to pursue, and give yourself the actual time to spend time doing it. I've went to school for animation for 4 years, spent 3 of those summers interning in animation, and spent 5 of those years working primarily as a storyboard artist. And like I mentioned in previous videos, I'm not 100% quitting animation. I'm just moving my attention to a different area while leaving a door open to animation still. And the reason I'm doing that is because while I've been working in animation, I realized that there are things in my life I miss doing while being in that industry. I kind of missed having more ownership of my work, the ability to have my own direct audience, and being able to tap more into my jack of all trades side. I also do enjoy the flexibilities of travel, having different projects to work on each day, and being able to make a name for myself. I found that in animation, it was always so rewarding to finally see your name in those credits, but after that, it really doesn't feel like much else other than knowing you had a hopefully good experience on the team and got to grow really fast as an artist and a person. To some people, that's enough, and that's great. For me, I guess I crave the feeling of leaving an impact on someone, and I wasn't sure if just working in animation was enough for that. People only really knew I worked on animated shows and films because I eventually ended up announcing it on my social media. But if I didn't have social media, I'm not really sure who I'm inspiring, motivating, or leaving a positive impact on. It's not something I really thought about enjoying doing in the beginning of my career, but I did eventually realize I missed having the ability to help others. Some people are able to do that within their immediate teams at work and find fulfillment in that. For me, I feel like I appreciate having the broader reach, and I think that's what social media and publishing books allowed me to do on a more direct level. So, did I fail in my art career? Okay, so maybe I didn't fail as in starving, struggling to support myself, and spiraling down a dark hole, but perhaps I failed my expectations of what my 18-year-old self thought I was going to be. And that might happen to you too, and that's okay. I think it's kind of crazy. People expect you to have things figured out when you're so young, and I'm just like, I don't even feel like you're even a full-grown adult yet until after 25. 5 or even after that. So many things are going to happen to you. You'll meet new peers, new mentors, new role models, and have so many new experiences that will ultimately influence the way you navigate your career. You might think you know what you want to be, but you don't really know if you will stay in that career path or if something happens that might cause you to pivot. Our generation was definitely influenced by our parents and grandparents who, for the majority of us, had people who worked in jobs for years and decades. It wasn't until a few years ago that we became more opened up to the possibilities of switching jobs and why that can even be a good thing. You gain more experiences, expand your networks, and even can make more money. A lot of my personal process has been learning to let go of the old beliefs of sticking to a traditional job, the traditional way, and learning to embrace the uncertainty that is to come with almost any industry, honestly, that will constantly be shifted by society and technology. One thing I learned from my therapy sessions was to set intentions and not goals. This isn't to say you need to stop setting goals, but setting an intention may help you eventually make those goals. But setting the intention first allows you to remind yourself what general area you want to head to, and if you are always spending time planning out this specific career, you might even forget the parts of it that don't align with certain areas of your life anymore, especially after realizing that you've changed. So yeah, you might have a goal of pursuing this certain art career and you might fail at either sticking with it or committing to it for years. And guess what? That's okay. You're only further clarifying what the future you might want in life is. And if you are someone who does want to stick with a job for a long time, that's okay too. This is more of a video for those who feel conflicted with where they are in their art career journey, and I'm here to say that even as a working professional, I still feel that way too. And anyway, here we have the final spread, and I actually quite enjoy how it came out. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one.